Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about lessons learned from narcissistic abuse. And our experiences being narcissistically abused. And how we need to retrain ourselves for having a good, healthy and successful life. And the fact of the matter is this ties in with a couple of comments that struck me to talk about today. Now just so you know, I try to go through all of my comments. And there are times I respond to most. And there are times I don't respond at all. And just because I don't respond, doesn't mean I'm not thinking about them. Because I am. My wheels are always turning in my mind. Thinking sometimes months in advance about different videos I want to make. Talking about different subjects. But there's only so much time in the day. So keep the comments coming. Because beside them helping you through your journey, and helping me think deeper about certain topics and subjects, they do indeed help others. There are so many people going through some form of narcissistic abuse. No matter it be they were raised in a narcissistically abusive home, or they are or were dating or married to a narcissist, or they have a boss or co-worker, or neighbor that's a toxic narcissist. At some point in time, most people walking planet Earth has sadly been touched and affected by this evil. And when you tell your story, you never know. You might strike something in someone out there that can identify with what you are saying. And from that they know they aren't alone. And it motivates them to research more. And work hard to recover and pursue a healthy and happy life. So keep the thoughts and comments coming. Now a comment was made on one of my videos entitled, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery. Having a high opinion of yourself. That they were taught. All negative, you have to serve others, you have to stand back and observe. Now most people that were raised in a narcissistically abusive home can relate to this comment. Because they were taught to always feel guilty for putting themselves as a priority. And also feeling guilty for having goals. And also feeling guilty for having any form of success. Now there is a big difference when I speak about in this video between having a high opinion of yourself and having a big head, so to speak. Having a high opinion of yourself goes back to your relationship with God if you are a believer. I've often said, God didn't make a mistake in you and your abilities. Everyone has a gift and it's your job to find it, work it, and develop it. But sadly the narcissist's job is to prevent you from finding these talents and skills. And prevent you from developing these talents and skills. And also prevent you from using them as well. And they do this through making you feel guilty for being successful and happy. You see, narcissists constantly keep you in a state of stress to the point where you don't know what to do with yourself if you're not in this state. They beat you down so bad emotionally about how you feel about yourself, that this feeling of despair overtakes you and becomes a normal way you see your life. It's all a brainwashing game. A sick brainwashing game to create a perfect slave. A slave in the physical sense. And a slave in the emotional sense. If you can't and don't have the ability to think for yourself, you will be a slave for others. Doing what others desire and catering to their every whim. But you are also a slave in the emotional sense. Because you are feeding them narcissistic supply. When they see a new piece of your emotionally die. When you give up on yourself. And they know they are the reason why. It charges them. It fuels them. Just to know they can alter and change the course of another human's life. A talented human. Can think so low of themselves to the point where their talents go unfulfilled. All because of a slick brainwasher. So such comments. And those that can relate to this topic are very, very common. I'm sad to say. This is why I encourage those that are believers to ask God to reveal your talents. To show them to you. And then when He does, work hard at them. And part of that is developing the will to act. The courage to do. And though we must pray for this courage, we as people must do our due diligence as well. We must work this muscle like we are working a muscle on our body. We must exercise this part of our being so it will get stronger and stronger. And one way I think is good to do this is to take a class for a hobby you like, or something you've always been interested in, such as glass blowing, painting, dancing, exercise, or a foreign language. And you take this one area that you can control, and you get good at it. Get this success and win under your belt. And then think to yourself, what other area can I win or have an impact in? What talent did God reveal to you that is yours? And you now take this winning attitude and move forward with it, all the while remaining grounded and humble. But at the same time knowing God didn't make junk when He made you. He didn't make a mistake. And He gave you these talents to be used. And yes, you should use these talents to enrich others' lives. But there's nothing wrong with using these talents to benefit yourself as well. You see, we live in a fake plastic world, where people no longer use their talents as a means of honest trade, where they are giving something back to the world. But as a byproduct of that, it does pay for their meals and place to live. There are references in the Bible where God tells us to not be worried about all of the necessities of life, such as clothes, housing, or food. That if we have faith, He will provide all of these things unto us. And He also tells us in another area, where our heart is, our treasure is also. I firmly believe what He's talking about here is seeking God and us asking for our purpose. And when the time is right He will let us know. And through this purpose, no matter it be blowing glass, or working on cars, or writing books, He will give us the talents we need to not only affect others positively, but through this, we will receive what we need for our housing, clothing, and food. I don't think we are just supposed to stand there and out of thin air a house appears, or a car, or money, or clothes. Though oddly enough things like that can happen if He believes you need it, and deserve it at that time. Everything is all in His timing. But the fact is, we weren't put down here to be lazy. Working hard is throughout the Bible. Even Jesus, or Joshua, was a skilled carpenter, which as a trade back then, and even now, makes it so many can not only build their own homes, but homes for others, and receive a fair wage for such work. And this talent can be used to help someone that might need the help, when God puts it on this person to provide such help. Same with being a book writer, or someone that works on cars, or someone that makes shoes. We aren't to be idle with our time. Yes, there is time for relaxing and rest, because we must also take good care of the bodies we are given. Because when we don't, we aren't any good for ourselves or anyone else for that matter. But at the same time, we shouldn't be lazy. We shouldn't be lazy with our thoughts, and lazy with pursuing our goals. But when we've been raised in a narcissistically abusive home, we oftentimes are frozen like a deer caught in the headlights. So, self-doubt and second-guessing ourselves becomes a part of who we are. The question you have to ask yourself, though it seems natural for you to feel this way, who put these thoughts and feelings into you? It sure wasn't your creator. It was some slime ball that cares nothing for you, except to see you self-destruct. And I will tell you what, when you get your first win under your belt, that first thing you succeed at, it will send a positive message to your brain to not sit back and observe others winning. That you can win as well. Now it is good to observe others in the context of behavior, to make sure you're not getting mixed up with another toxic person. But you shouldn't observe yourself out of a life. Remember, God didn't make junk out of you. Everyone gets a gift. And if you are a believer, ask Him what that gift is. And then work that gift. Hone that gift. Stay humble. But remain confident. Confident you can do it. Confident you were given these talents and tasks for a reason. And the reason is you are capable. I will say it again. The reason is you are capable. I hope this video was helpful to some of you out there that are going through such negative thoughts and feelings. I know it can be hard. And it takes constantly doing the self-work to not second guess and not place self-doubt. But hey, we are all in this together. And we can do it. With that being said, let's keep praying for wisdom. Let's keep praying for strength. And let's keep praying for courage. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.